But let's return to the big focus there. This Lokpal bill, of course, missing its date with the cabinet this evening. But there's, of course, a lot more that we're expecting that's going to keep the Lokpal in the news in the days ahead before the session of Parliament ends. Vinod Sharma of the Hindustan Times with us, as is Shazia Ilmi with the Teamana. Thanks both so much for joining us. Vinod Sharma, first you, sir. How do you see this playing out? Now, we know that the Prime Minister, even as we speak, chairing a high-level meeting. There was an earlier meeting with the top ministers, again, on this keynote to be circulated among the cabinet ministers tomorrow. Is it your sense that we're going to need to extend this session, sir? Do you believe that?
No, I think this session can be very easily extended. You know, before the Christmas vacation, they can just adjourn it sine die. And without proroguing it, which would require the presidential notification for the reconvening of the session, they can just take a break and reconvene after Christmas. Right. I don't think that... you
think it's going to be needed? You think it's going to come down to that? Because we just 4 or 5 days to go.
The point is that it's a very important legislation. And the Parliament would like to discuss it thoroughly.
Right.
And I have this hunch that, you know, even the bill that is being brought now, which is going to be a vast improvement on the bill that was there earlier, might require certain amendments if there are, if that is the desire of the House. And I would very politely like to request my friends in the civil society that they should distinguish between the sense of the House and the considered view of the House.
Right.
You see, unless you distinguish that, make that distinction, and then there would be always some problem on the nuts and bolts, on the finer print.
And you need to iron everything out.
And if you want, and you know, at the Jantar Mantar rally, Mr. Bardhan, he made a comment that let's get this bill and let's improve it over the next 2 years.
2 years, and he was booed. But
works.
You saw the response. You saw how
you know,
that was received.
But the crowd didn't get it, get the spirit of what he said. And Brinda explained it to the crowds. And I think that now a lot of explaining is required to be done by both parties to the people. That look, this is what we have got. It is a huge improvement over the previous bill. And
but let's iron out any problem that we foresee that we might have
in the days to follow, in the months to follow, in the years to follow.
Shazia, how do you respond to this? Of course, we've heard so many MPs then that all-party meeting also speaking to the PM and saying, don't rush into anything. We're all for Lokpal. Do you believe that it's just a delaying tactic, or like Vinod Sharma here says, that they're just trying to be thorough?
You know, there was a session where 15 bills were passed in 17 days. This is one of those important pieces of legislation and legislation.
You wouldn't want it to be one of those 15 in 17 days.
No, as I agree with Mr. Sharma, which has been, there's never been such huge and, you know, pre-legislative debate as there have been on this bill. So the points of view of civil society and different sections of civil society, the draft committee meeting, the standing committee, different members are known to all. And as for Mr. Bardhan, what he said about 2 years, Brinda Karat actually clarified it and said, we ourselves want a good legislation to be in place, but endless debate and after having known everybody's views, I think would be part of scuttling and a dithering tactic. Also, we're losing something when we delay a law on corruption. We're losing money. There's a cost of that too. So time is indeed of the essence.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.